my right leg and my knee are in really bad shape. I don't know what happened, but I'm
there he is. There he is. No 360 on this? Dude, I don't know if you need any of this, but...
No, this is good. This is good. Hey. I wasn't gonna be breaking any records. I would have ended up getting more injured. There's no benefit.
No, I get ya.
No benefit to finishing. Everything was like so according to plan until mile 13. And then my knee started to hurt after the hill that they put us in. And I was like, okay, I'll just slow it down. It'll work its way out. And then 14 hurts a little bit more. And then 15, it starts to hurt my hip. Like it's going from my knee up to my hip. And then by 16, it was like full on, like sharp pain, stop, screaming, injury.
What do you think that is? Because have you been getting that this whole season?
No, but when we were walking a bunch in Vegas, my knee was bothering me. And I thought like, oh, I just haven't.
It was the walking in Vegas that did it.
Well, I was like, I just haven't gotten proper recovery from the 20 miler. Then it went away, and I had a couple runs after the Vegas trip, and it was all good. I was all set. And then I was good until 13. I felt like $100. I was hitting all the right on pace. Yet again, I was thwarted by the all-powerful marathon. Super disappointing. I felt really good the first half. I mean, I was robot mode. Look at those splits, just razor sharp, just ruler level. I was so on pace. Miles, I was ahead of pace. I felt good. I felt like $100. And then there was a hill that went up and around a turn, and my right knee just started to feel bad, like hurting, painful. And that pain spread up to my hip, and I kept pushing for like a couple more miles, just thinking it's gotta work its way out. Like I've had weird pains and stuff during runs, but it goes away. This one has to go away too. After a few miles, it got so sharp that I knew if I kept pushing it, I would be developing probably a pretty significant injury. I don't know what it is. I don't know if maybe it was because I was like hitting that glycogen wall. Maybe it was because of the I was running on the edge of the trail. Maybe I was putting too much pressure on my right side. I don't know, but I had two choices. I was like, I can either push through this and feel horrible and potentially be, completely out of commission for weeks or months. I mean, you never know where these injuries go. Or I can walk to the end, maybe not even make the cutoff. That was an option. Or just step off the course and collect a DNF. It did not finish. And ultimately, I called Sam and I was like, this is where I'm at. And she, talked me into it. She was like, I think you're best just calling it and focusing on another run, because at this point, I'm still assuming this injury is something that I can figure out and manage. I'm still in a place where I can continue to train for another race and try to do it again. I don't know. There's a marathon in Toledo that my family is doing, so potentially I could fly out and do that one. There's a marathon in Burlington at the end of May in Vermont that I could potentially do and try that again. But at this point, I don't have any strong feelings about anything. I'm just kind of disappointed. I'm glad, my leg now feels a lot better just being home, but at this point I just have to take some time and rest and maybe go for some runs and try to assess the situation and see what I can do from here. But man, I said in yesterday's video, I was like, as long as nothing catastrophic happens, I'll at least make a 4:30. And, well, something catastrophic relatively happened. And, yeah, I just had to walk off the course. It was a super tough decision, but I was kind of left with no other option. My hand was forced. So, and, you know, to be honest, with you, this whole training arc for running really is to complete an ultra marathon. It's a different beast than a marathon. I know what you might be thinking, Keller. If you can't finish the marathon, what makes you think you can finish an ultra? But it's a different almost sport. But I wanted the time on feet. I wanted the baseline of the distance and the speed, and so the marathon was just a milestone in that. But I just became so obsessed with that milestone and the time that I could get potentially doing that and redeeming myself from the last marathon, which at the time I felt was a complete disaster. But now this is the complete disaster in my book. So it's disappointing, but it is also a good, sobering reminder that you know, I really have to keep my eyes on the real prize, which is there's an ultra in June that I'd like to do called Drummer Hill. But there's the real goal, which is what set all this off, was the Ghost Train Ultra that happens right here in Bedford on the rail trail. All proceeds go to benefit the rail trail health. And I've already signed up for that. It's a 30-mile run. It's overnight. And I feel good about that because I'm not trying to hit any time goals. And so maybe that's the lesson here, is that hitting these time goals is just... It's a mirage that I shouldn't be chasing, because maybe if I was 30 seconds slower on my pace, maybe I wouldn't have had the injury, or maybe not. Maybe I could have absolutely destroyed the sub 4-hour time with the fluke of the injury. I don't know. It's an injury that I have not had. I've never even had any inklings of it, other than, like I said in the video, when we were walking around Vegas, I was having some trouble with my knee, but we were doing a lot of walking, and I was coming off that 20-miler, and I just thought, well, I probably haven't, properly recovered from that. But then for it to come back today and with such vengeance was really humbling, I guess, for the lack of a better word. So, not the end of the world. I would be lying if I said I wasn't truly disappointed, especially going and looking at all this footage now. Really, it all sets in of just how optimistic I felt in the first half of the race, of like, I got this. This is in the bag. But, it's a fool's thought. So, all that to be said, let me sleep on this. Let me think about it some more. Let me wallow in my self-pity for another, few hours. And then we'll be back on the streets hitting it hard, because that's what you do, you just get back up and you keep freaking going, and you try to do whatever. And so I don't know if I go back and do one of those marathons, or I'm thinking about maybe doing, like today was the cheap marathon. Maybe I do it the cheapest marathon, if you know what I'm saying. If I'm just going for the arbitrary number, what's to say I can't just do it on my own? Anyways. Thank you, everyone, for your kind words, who said good luck and all that. The marathon, man. The marathon's a beast. It's a beast of an event, gotta say.